The following video is brought to you by the guys at the Wrecking and Racing Podcast, a NASCAR podcast made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.wreckingandracing.com, facebook.com/wreckingandracing, and Twitter at Wrecking and Racing. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 2019 mod, and we are starting the round of 8 on the paperclip of Martinsville. Denny Hamlin on the pole, Brandon on the outside. We're surrounded by Joe Gibbs, it looks like, with Kyle Busch right in front of us, and we are ready for 50 laps. Green flag. Bottom is where you want to be. There's a strip of concrete down there that is a little bit more grippy, and we try to look to the inside of Kyle Busch. He washes up. We get into Jimmy Johnson just a little bit. He is still on the outside. He rolls out. We kind of got into Jimmy a little bit. And speaking of Jimmy, we have the Jimmy Johns car of Kevin Harvick to our outside right there. And we'll see if we can clear Harvick off the corner. We can. And can we get Kyle into the braking zone in turn 1? Yes, indeed. So we'll put Kyle Busch out to the outside. Maybe he can find some space between myself and Harvick, and indeed it looks like he can. And going for Denny Hamlin now. We're a lot better in the braking zone, it seems. I don't want to speak my roosters before they hen house, but you know, we're looking pretty good on corner entry. As this race wears on, we will not be pitting, so tire wear will come into play later into the race, but we are good on fuel. The full fuel tank will carry us all 50 laps. Looking to the inside of Hamlin, can't get the power down. We slid a little bit on the bottom of 3 and 4. Driving in, we're okay. It's that corner exit that I feel that we are on the struggle bus. As you see Denny Hamlin pick up the throttle, and we can't quite get to the gas as enthusiastic as Hamlin. And Brandon does indeed continue to pace the field. If one of the chase drivers in the 8 do win this race, they are guaranteed a lock to the Final 4 at Homestead in just a scant few weeks' time. So the season has ramped up as far as the stress level goes, because it comes down to these 3 races. I'm feeling pretty good, though, because if Brandon wins, that means I'll almost be guaranteed in on points. I have to be sure that I'm ahead by 45 leaving Texas, because that means that the points leader doesn't need to fall back on his points and will be in second place, as we were 60 to the good after the conclusion of the last event. But that's pretty far away, neither here nor there. We're working on Hamlin still, and it does look like we're starting to gap Kyle just a little bit. The cars are single filing out, and in a few laps' time, I guarantee we will be in lapped traffic. Starting double file on the initial start means that we won't catch them as quickly, but because there's no standard double file restarts in 2K3, if there is a caution and we all line up single file, they're going to be half a lap down when the green flag drops, and that will be cautions breeding cautions for sure. Hamlin took a little bit wider line there that I wasn't expecting, but we might be able to make use of that. But he and I are very, very equal indeed, and Brandon isn't really stretching out Hamlin so much. He is out front, and Kyle Busch really isn't falling back, so everyone running pretty similar lap times as we continue to click these off. Without a caution, these 50 laps will fly on by. We'll see if anyone gets into anyone else. Martinsville is known for their spins. Their flying 360s, getting into each other, beating and banging, and, you know, debris. I mean, you're not going to see a high-speed crash unless someone's throttle sticks or their brakes fail. But you'll definitely see cars into each other, and possibly even when these lap cars do come into view, Brandon might have to root some out of the way. We will see indeed. And Kyle Busch might root us out of the way it looks, but no, yellow flag is out, and myself and Brandon are not involved. So we will have to take a look at this caution when the race is over, see exactly what brought out the yellow, and they're all stopped in turn 1. But yeah, not coming down to pit road, and we will get back to the green, reline them up, and be right back for the restart. Pace car is off, coming off turn 3 and 4. I think I can get the whole shot on Hamlin here. When the green flag comes out, I'm going to send it. Here we go. Green flag is out, up to third gear. We get into Hamlin just a little bit, up into fourth, and we'll outbrake him going into the turn. Into Hamlin just a little bit. He goes up the track, stays in it. Kyle Busch to his inside, and Hamlin will power down. So we have to sort of watch our rear bumper now. Hamlin probably will give us the 1-2 punch if we slip up any. And Brandon already out to the lead that he had before the yellow flag. There was some skid marks on the front straightaway, so something happened on the front stretch to bring out that first caution. As I said, we'll take a look at it after the race is over, and the race isn't over yet, so there may be more to see before it's all said and done. Brandon looks like he was having some difficulty getting through turn 3 and 4. The car looked very loose, and ours is quite the opposite. We were tight in the middle of the corner, and trying to put some wheel in it and get this car turn is extremely difficult. I don't know if I'm wearing out the right front or if my line is just off, but I am having real difficulty trying to get off the corner. Although we are gapping Hamlin a bit on the straightaway, it does look like we have that acceleration to our name, but we've lost the ability to outbrake, but we're holding okay on the gas, that is for sure. And Brandon holding that lead, not really catching, almost losing, and you can see the launch he got off of turn 4. That is where we're really starting to struggle, is turn exit. And because there's, two very quick parts of this racetrack, the straightaways, if we can't get through the turns, then we can't get down the straights, and we just start giving up time lap after lap. And we've got a hungry bunch of drivers right behind us, Kevin Harvick on the inside. If we hold up these guys much longer, they're going to be 2 by 2 by 2. I don't know if Hamlin is going to move us or not. I don't know if he can get to us by the mid-corner. That is something to keep an eye out for. We did a lot better that time. We just need to gap him on the straight. And I spy with my little eye lap traffic coming into view. If Brandon is having difficulty getting through the lap traffic, we may be able to catch up, but we need to get through traffic better than Hamlin, that is for sure, so he isn't knocking our rear bumper off. And the car is just washing out really, really bad. It feels like the right front is sliding like crazy, and I think each turn I'm laying down like skid marks right there. You can see the right sides. I think those are mine, and that the car is just not turning whatsoever. Having to use a lot of brake here to try to get the car to pivot, and it's just not doing it. It doesn't feel as sprightly as it did in the spring, and Brandon is taking advantage of it. But like I said, the race isn't over though. Brandon may have difficulty getting through lap cars. There's only 2 right in front of us here. It looked like the 87 of Tanner Berryhill, missing his rear clip. Looked like an exposed fuel cell just from this point of view. And we have gapped Hamlin a bit. I'm not sure what happened to Denny back there. He's all alone. It's not like he was gotten into. Maybe his tires are starting to fall off, or maybe he decided that he couldn't make the pass and he's just saving his tires. That could be. And the car just washing out again. We are making time on these lap cars. Probably 3 or 4 more laps, I would say, until Brandon is to their rear bumper. And we're not close enough to capitalize on that hole that he opens up. They'll be able to get back to the racing line and cause a headache for us when we get up to them. And yeah, we are just not looking strong at all. I'm just going to hang on here and hope for a second. If Brandon makes a mistake, we can do something about it, but as of now, we cannot catch him. But like I said, I'm not worried. If he wins, then I can get in the Final Four on points, as there can only be 3 different winners and there's 4 spots open, so someone will definitely make it in on points, and right now that is me. So as long as I don't do anything stupid, Homestead isn't too far away. And neither are those lap cars in front of Brandon now. So no, he wasn't missing his rear clip, as it kind of looked like from the few laps before, but Brandon will catch Berryhill or Chastain. There he is under Berryhill. Now, if Brandon cannot get the power down off the corner, we'll be able to catch him a little bit if our exit is clean. Ross Chastain decides to chop him off. That might be beneficial for us here if we can get a good power down, and there is a cluster in front of Chastain. First will be Jeffrey Earnhardt, and that big group of cars right in front of him, they may be too wide by the time Brandon catches them, and that should reel them back in. But all things considered, Brandon got through those guys really cleanly. We weren't able to catch up at all. In fact, I think Brandon extended his lead while battling lap cars, and we were all alone. So that doesn't bode well for our chances here. But we have gapped Hamlin tremendously. We've almost got a straightaway on Hamlin. I don't know if these guys have realized their tires are going to be junk and really slowed down. But we will take a look-see as we get on the back bumper of Tanner Berry Hill. See if we can get that launch down the straightaway and get to his inside in turn 3. We do have a decent exit compared to Berry Hill. We'll be able to get to his inside. Chastain may indeed close the door. And we have to be out of the gas so long because this thing is not pivoting. We actually lost some ground to Berry Hill here. Yeah, the car is taking a turn for the worst here. Yeah, if we're struggling this bad to get around, we're not catching anybody anytime soon. Let's see if we can keep our car at least even on corner exit. Yes, indeed we can. Power down, that should be our ticket in front. Berry Hill still fights back pretty hard. Hopefully we'll clear him here. Yes, indeed. We can finally get out to the wall. But he put up a pretty big fight. Will Ross Chastain roll over? Nope, he just goes right down to the bottom. Looks like he has a gap in his rear deck lid. Perhaps Ross Chastain was rear-ended, and he doesn't give us near the fight that Tanner Berryhill did. We should be able to clear Chastain just fine, and Berryhill's actually going for that last place spot under Chastain. Yeah, the tires slid just a little bit there. We're trying to get on the brakes, and it is just garbage. Brandon looks 3 wide under Ty Dillon and David Reagan, and I think they make contact 3 wide up there. David Reagan up top. I'm going to see if he spins. No, everyone keeps going in a straight line, and there's Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski's right in front of Brandon, and he is a final race, or, round of 8 contender. If he's back here running with Jeffrey Earnhardt, he's standing to lose a lot of points. I don't know if Brad may have been caught up in that first wreck. He may have been a victim of whatever happened on the front stretch. But bad news for Brad. He's going to lose a lot of ground for sure going into Texas. Now he's, I imagine, pretty strong at Texas and Phoenix as well. So he's not out of the chase by any means, but this is not going to be a good day for him. This may be his one mulligan. He does have some bonus points, so this might not be as big a blow as it could be. Not as big a blow as we put on Jeffrey Earnhardt there, sliding into the corner. We should be able to clear him and work on David Reagan. But yeah, we cannot attack these corners with any confidence, and we can't drive through the middle with any confidence either. All right, David, are you going to give me some room here? And it does look indeed like Brandon is putting Brad Keselowski 1 lap down, so if the yellow were to come out, Brad would be trapped. Bad news for Brad. I don't know if he's lost the most spots this race. I don't actually know, ouch, where Brad started. David Reagan got into us a little bit there on corner exit. Who am I lying? We probably washed up in our garbage handling car here. And yeah, it looks like Brad does indeed have some damage. His rear end is, his deck lid is separated, and it looks like he's got some left side damage right behind the left front tire. Yeah, that doesn't look like a complete race car, and he's here racing with Landon Castle with similar rear end damage as well. So these two may have been a part of that initial crash on the front stretch, and they just haven't gotten away from each other. So Brad needs to make some moves and do what he can here to save his championship hopes. And Brandon has gotten past the 34. and going around and setting his sights even further. I don't know if we're going to be able to pass these guys, but luckily Brad does get in front of Landon Castle here. Landon will be to our outside, and boy, Brad's car, it kind of looks like it doesn't have a front fender from the look of it. His front tire's all exposed and peeled back. He's got some scrape and a donut there, so Brad definitely took the brunt of a hit from somebody. And missing his hood even, yeah. So Brad got into somebody hard, possibly the 00 of Landon Castle. We'll get under Chris Buescher here, and Brandon's blocked in by Suarez and Byron, it looks like. As they're side by side in front of him, we'll try to get a run. Oh, and a yellow comes out. We will take the caution. So Brandon will pin Stenhouse 1 lap down. Everyone else can get their lap back. I don't know if this race is going to end under yellow or not. If we do get a restart, these lap cars will not move out of the way, because I'm pretty sure we're less than 10 to go. So, you know, we would actually need this to finish under yellow for my sake. Otherwise, we might actually drop back. So we'll see how this race unfolds, and I'll be right back. Coming around with a checkered flag in the air, Brandon will take the win and lock his way into Homestead. We will finish in second. Brandon doing the hospital wobble to celebrate, and Brandon is the first one guaranteed into the final round of 4. So Brandon will once again be battling for the championship. Let's see who finished in the top 10 here and where our fellow competitors lied. So Brandon finished in first. I was second. Third place, have to go all the way back to Denny Hamlin here in third. Fourth place was Kyle Busch. Fifth place was Kevin Harvick. Sixth place was Jimmy Johnson. Seventh place, Ryan Blaney. Eighth place, Bubba Wallace. Ninth place, Joey Logano. Rounding out your top 10 is Eric Almirola. So let's look at your championship contenders. Brad Keselowski comes across in 29th place. Eric Almirola finishes in 10th. Denny Hamlin finishes 3rd. Ryan Blaney finishes 7th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. comes across in 24th. Kyle Busch finishes 4th. Brandon took the checkered flag, and I came across in 2nd. So let's look at what brought out the very, very first yellow. Let's see, what lap would that have been? And there's the skid marks there, and Landon Castle is facing the wrong way. Looks like Clint Boyer got a hold of him here. So we'll go ahead and play that. Looks like Landon Castle left the door open. Going into turn 3, Clint Boyer went to the inside, filled that up, spun Landon Castle around, and around he goes. Does he collect anyone? He collects Larson and Bowman, and everyone else gets around. Huh. Oh, and clipped by Berry Hill, so that's where Landon Castle got his damage. Let's take a look at the 88 and see exactly how much damage Bowman got from that shot of Kyle Larson coming to a complete stop on the front straightaway. So there was the spin, there was Larson's stop, and away he goes. Man, that's killer. He was running in 24th though, but what in the world happened to Brad? That's what I want to know, because he was missing a front end and he is just fine there. And there he's coming down pit road. So something happened under the caution. So here's Brad, right? He's driving along. Truck tire. Oh, he couldn't stop. So Joey Logano was in the back of Blaney, who was in the back of who? Johnson. There's Brandon and myself, but we were slowing down offline. So that's Kyle Busch slowing down, accordion effect. There's the 19, and then bam. Brad Keselowski just doesn't get the memo that he needs to stop. I mean, he was going 39, 34. He slows down. Brad's going 10 mile an hour faster, and then gets careened into by the 8 and the 10. That is weird, 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 I say. And then right towards the end of the race is when the next yellow flag was. All right, so yellow flag came out on this particular lap here. Oh, Berryhill is slow. So Kyle Busch getting around Tanner Berryhill. Looks like Berryhill might have left the door open. Yeah, looked like Kyle got into him, squeezed the door open. Kyle just finished the job. Off he goes, and the yellow comes out. So it came down to a yellow finish because Tanner Berryhill slid. That's fair. So let's take a look at the standings after Martinsville. Eric Almirola is now your cutoff driver. Brandon with the win vaults himself into the championship four. We are 60 points to the good, meaning as long as we don't lose 15 points at Texas, we are mathematically guaranteed after, but a very tight race. 5 positions, Kyle Busch is in. Blaney is out by 2, Hamlin out by 6, Keselowski takes a big hit, out by 15, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. almost puts himself in a must-win situation after this race, but who knows what'll happen at Texas? Stay tuned to find out, but that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you for the second race in the round of 8 at Texas. Take care.